Joining us now on the Majority Report is Billy Joe Cain and his daughter Tuesday Cain. And they're a father-daughter duo who went out and protested against the Texas legislature's war on women. I mean, they were trying to pass this HB2 bill, this anti-women, anti-choice bill over in Texas. People hit the streets. People protested, made their voices heard. And Billy Joe and his daughter were two of the people who did so. But, however, Tuesday was holding a sign, and this sign caused a bit of a ruckus in the right-wing blogosphere. And they're not backing down, though, even though the right wing's been attacking them. Billy Joe and Tuesday, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Let's just start with what happened, basically. So you guys went down there. Tell us your story. You went down there with the sign. What did the sign say? And just give us that story. Let's start with that.
Sure. I'll kind of give you a high level. I'm not sure how familiar everybody is with the situation, so it's always good to do that. So what happened was the legislature had put together a bill called HB2, which was allegedly for pro-women's health. And there was an enormous backlash, thankfully, in Texas because somebody found out about it and spread the word. So Senator Wendy Davis had gone and tried to put a filibuster in at the end of the season, and managed to get really close to it before they kicked her out. And long story short, it didn't pass during the normal legislative season, and then they called the second session, where the main idea for the whole session was to pass this bill into law. They ramrodded it through, long story short, and during that time, well over 10,000 people came out to protest.
Wow.
And to make their voices heard one way or the other. During this time, we went to the Capitol probably 4 days solid, maybe 12 hours a day. And on the very last day that they were trying to get the bill passed, and then they ran through all the amendments in rapid style fashion, Tuesday had decided to write up a sign, and it was kind of built upon the amount of, I guess, really hate's the only word I could say it for the people that were against the bill, like us. A lot of people were trying to shame us and tell us that Jesus didn't approve of what we were doing, murdering children, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So we got a lot of pushback from what I would consider to be the right wing and pro-Jesus, anti-choice, pro-live birth groups. And Tuesday can talk about why it was that she wrote that sign and what it's actually said.
Okay, great.
Hi, Tuesday.
Hi. I guess, go ahead.
Speak loudly.
So, I made the sign while I was at the Capitol. I guess, to analyze my sign in two parts, it says, Jesus isn't a dick, so it means, both, Jesus is, he's not bad or anything. He's cool. And also, literally, Jesus isn't, I guess, male genitalia. And then,
we could probably all agree on that.
Yeah. Factual statement.
Yeah.
I think so. And then the other part being to keep him out of my vagina. Please keep, church separated from, state, from the government. And literally, please keep Jesus out of any vaginas. Not literally belongs in any vaginas.
No, I mean, I think it's a brilliant sign.
I think that's brilliant. Very clever.
Jesus isn't a dick, so keep him out of my vagina. I mean, it certainly will turn heads and get attention, and I mean that's why you're down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the signs and placards and everything that were being held by other people, I mean, they included aborted fetuses that were well over 24 weeks in gestation.
So many, photoshopped images where the baby wouldn't have certain things like, if you had an aborted fetus, there would be maybe a puddle or something around it, but you could see the little edges where it was edited and things because the image was blown up so much.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
It wasn't just YouTubes. It was that way. And these people were carrying around. They had children carrying them around. They had babies with duct tape on their face and forehead. It was very, very extreme, and I don't think people realize just how much guilt and shame that side was handing out.
Yeah.
Subconsciously.
No,
explicitly and subconsciously.
I mean, so they literally feel that your sign is more vulgar because the word maybe Jesus and dick and vagina are all in the same sentence. Yet here they are with signs like that, where children, which is what they're worried about, their argument, children will see these signs, they're vulgar. I mean, they have no problem with those signs being seen.
Well, it was. What's even crazier is that we're talking about a sign that you have to be able to read, for instance, to get what it is that we're talking about. Whereas the images that they were showing, you don't have to know how to read to see a dead
That's very
fetus,
true,
or
yes.
even a dead baby, for that matter.
Yeah. So let's get
it was pretty brutal.
So let's get to let's get to the right wing blowback you're receiving. I mean, so what happened basically. Why don't you tell us? The picture was a picture. Someone took a picture and it went viral on the right wing blogosphere. Why don't you give us that story?
Yeah. So Tuesday had a friend that was with her, and her friend was carrying the sign sometimes, and Tuesday was carrying it sometimes. And one of the pictures that was taken apparently hit one of the right wing, blogs, and it was going through Twitter. And since I had my computer there and I was watching all this stuff go on, because I was trying to figure out whether they had decided to go for whether they were going to pick up any of the amendments, that some of them were actually useful. And then I passed that on the list, and I was like, oh no, we are not going to be having this stuff, because it just got ugly really quick. I mean, they started calling her a whore and a slut, and basically intimating and saying explicitly that because their sign says dick and vagina on it, that of course that she's soliciting sex and I'm her pimp. And I was like, we're not going to have that. So I went online and said, hey, I'm the father of the girl that wrote that sign, and if you want to talk to me, here's my email address. Because I think the only way to get rid of a troll is to go out there and let truth and light and prevail. Answer it. You
know what's interesting to me though, that I don't even consider what the attacks on Tuesday to be trolling, because I view trolling as someone who creates an anonymous account and they just are out there to stir up trouble, get under people's skin. I mean, these are people who, many of them using their real name, spouting their actual feelings and opinions on this girl they know nothing about.
You're right. I guess what I was really trying to refer to is troll-like behavior. But you're right. They definitely were not. They were not trolling in the classic sense. They were definitely stating exactly who they were and what they really, really thought. And that's one of the things that's the scariest, is when people tell you exactly what they're thinking. You better listen. Those guys, they had some really interesting things you needed to listen to.
I wanted to just jump in here for a moment, and I first want to say, Tuesday, what struck me about reading about this and is you're incredibly gutsy, and it's amazing what you're doing, and regardless of whether anybody's offended by a sign or not is totally secondary to the message you're making and the leadership you're showing by being out there. And I think what I would like maybe both of you to talk about, because I think it's very connected, because you're talking about an agenda which is attacking and controlling women and saying that women should be in positions where they can't decide their own lives, they can't set their own fate, and we should be so far past the point of even arguing this to begin with. And then Tuesday, you come forward as a young person, as a teenager who's intelligent, articulate, cares, and you're a young woman, and it's almost like you're exactly what they're afraid of. Yes. And I'm wondering, how do you feel in terms of, you're doing the right thing, you have all this courage, but it's really ugly. So are you getting the kind of support you need, and have there been any people who've thrown some of this real garbage and maybe had a second thought about what they're doing? If any of that makes sense, and obviously both you can answer it, but I'm curious how you're experiencing all of this, Tuesday, and I just wanted to thank you again.
No problem. Thank you. Actually, yes. There are lots of people that have, they've said mean things, and I've responded to them, and they have immediately, actually, there have been people that have apologized. On my Facebook, there were a few people, I think it was like 180-something people that I responded to. I still have more to go. I haven't finished that. I feel kind of bad about that. But they've all responded with really positive things, and I've tried to respond to them. And there were a few people that responded with really nasty, hateful things, and I was like, okay, that's all right. So I either ignored them if they just didn't seem like, I guess, conversing with and, able to talk, I guess, and others that I responded to that were actually really, glad that I responded and were saying, well, at least now I understand that you're actually very mature and, whatever, that were very understanding. They just didn't really like my sign. And
you're some. Sorry, Tuesday. Go ahead. I was just going to say, Tuesday, you're someone that anybody, if they had any sincerity in supporting young people and caring about the future and leadership and all these other things that people throw around and say all the time, they should be 100% supportive of you, regardless of your sign, and even whether they agree with you on the position, just because of what you're out doing is amazing. And one other thing I'll just add is I know I have a lot of friends who are professional feminist writers and stuff like this, and they say they're always willing to talk with people, but they won't feed trolls. So it sounds like you're doing exactly the right thing.
Well, thank you, but I don't know if that's true. I mean,
yeah?
No, go on.
Well,
yeah, tell me.
You're not going to agree. There's not everyone, not everyone on the planet is going to agree with what I'm doing, and I don't really feel like anyone should be inclined to.
Right.
Or, feel like they should or anything. I don't know. Everyone has their own opinions, and I personally feel like I'm doing a good thing, but I don't expect everyone to think that I am, and that's fine.
I just want to ask, to me, some of the most incredible responses are just the ones that espouse that being that you're 14, you shouldn't be talking about these issues, as if somehow when you turn whatever age they think it's appropriate for you to be engaging in sexual activity, somehow when you hit that magical age, these laws that attack women are just magically going to disappear for you at that time. So, that to me is just ridiculous. But so how do we get, I'm sure there are many of your friends, I'm sure. You had a friend out there that she was in the picture that went viral. How can we get more Tuesday Cains? How can we get more young activists involved in these issues?
I think education, really. I think just teaching children and teaching, teenagers that, hey, this is what's going on, and if you like it, you better say something against it, or, you better go do something about it. Because, eventually in the future, these laws are going to, they may affect me, they may not affect me, but they're going to be affecting, at least some of my friends or, my peers, my teachers, whoever it is. But I think really just educating these children and students about what's going on would really be the best thing, and I don't know. Just educating, I guess.
Billy Joe, I'm sure there's some good parenting behind this too.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah, sure. I'm sure there's some parenting work behind this too. I'm sure you helped at a young age, let these issues be. The people who are attacking you, I'm sure they don't speak with such issues with their children, and they'd rather their children think that the world is some magical place where they're flying on marshmallows and candy.
Yeah, I'd like to say that I think part of the problem is that if you have so many people that are in the dark, literally about sex and the issues that surround sex, this is
an issue completely taboo to them.
Not just taboo, but they don't even realize that it's a problem. All they are hearing seems to be that there are certain people that are out murdering children and murdering babies, and that's bad. And if those kids and those children are not being educated to even know where babies come from, they don't even like using the word penis and vagina if they're uncomfortable with that and they wind up saying babies come from storks and they come, things happen in your hoo-ha, it's not going to get down to the point where these children are even going to have the opportunity to become activists because they're not going to be educated on any of the issues.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be indoctrinated from the beginning to know that, or to believe that, you shouldn't have anything to do with sex outside of marriage, and you shouldn't even be taught about sex until you talk to your preacher.
It's great. So
and that's not the way the world works.
So what's next in going on in Texas? What's the next? I mean, I know that they put forward this 6-week abortion bill. I think there's a fetal amendment, I believe it's
fetal
called.
Heartbeat.
Fetal heartbeat.
Yeah,
yes.
they put the fetal heartbeat bill in, and the thought at this point that I've read is that that bill, if passed into law, will not become immediately a law. It'll become a law if Roe versus Wade gets overturned. So really, it's what they're doing is they're setting things up so that once the big domino falls, it's going to crash everywhere. And this is happening all over the United States.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a Texas thing. I've heard differing accounts of the quantity of these bills, but I've heard numbers anywhere between 300 and 600 of these bills are being introduced all across the United States. I'm trying to find out if there is a central repository for these bills so people can know that, and I'm starting to feel like I may have to be the person to put that together. But
that would be.
That would be great.
I don't know. Yeah, somebody needs. And it's got to be curated all the time. So I'm sure that if I do this, I'll need help. And
you'll need some funding. So everybody out there who is in that world should take note.
Somebody's got to do it. Somebody has to do this because this is a cancer that is going to affect every woman in the United States one way or another. And if you don't have the money to go to another state or the means or to even leave the country to get this done, because there are going to be people that need it, we're going to be stuck with a lot of problems, and it's going to happen everywhere. I think what's happening is somebody finds a legal foothold, and if it works, people think it works, it gets introduced in all these different states at the same time, and then they tack on more. This 6-week fetal heartbeat thing, the 20-week mysterious phantom. Not supported by scientific, peer-reviewed literature that says that fetuses feel pain at 20 weeks. These bills are going on everywhere, and they're tacked onto budgets, motorcycle safety bills, and these are facts. Look them up, but it's crazy what's going on, and these people have to be stopped.
I mean, you just said it you just said it before. I mean, this isn't really. It's not even just a woman's rights issue. I mean, this is an issue that affects everybody. I mean, you brought up how this is not just an attack on women; it's an attack on the poor. I mean, they're really going to be the ones who are hurt by this. I mean, people who can afford to find a way to get an abortion will continue to be fine with these laws passed. I mean, this is an attack on the poor to the poor, really, and in essence, it affects everybody. So I just want to wrap it up here by really thanking you two for coming out and speaking about this. Not even just, one, going out there and protesting, carrying your sign, hearing from the people who are down there protesting, letting your voice be heard. But then also, you're not just letting these things be thrown around online, these terrible things being said online just happen and ignoring them, which would have definitely been the easier thing to do, but instead you're pointing it out as, look, this is going on, and this is something that we have to deal with here. I mean, it's wrong to call any woman the words that they're calling Tuesday, but at the same time they're using Tuesday's age as a way that she shouldn't be heard, yet they have no problem saying these things to her, and it's just amazing to see you two both stand up and speak out.
And frankly, and bring their own kids out with incredibly disturbing signs,
yes,
and use them as tools of emotional manipulation and political point scoring.
So I just want to say, go read, there's a piece, Billy Joe wrote a piece in The Guardian. Tuesday wrote a piece in XO Jane. We have both links up at majority.fm. You can read them both. You can click through there and find them both. If you're on Twitter, at Billy Joe Cain, tweet at him, give him and Tuesday your support. Thank you two so much for joining us. Continue what you're doing. I would love to hear from you guys again. Keep in touch and keep fighting.
Thanks, guys.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks. There's a piece coming. Salon has an article coming out in a while, and there's a couple of more. We did a radio show on BBC on Friday.
Awesome.
It's up
Great.
there. And one last thing I wanted to say is what we've been told is we are in many ways kind of like the worst thing that the conservative side would ever want to deal with is a man who is anti-abortion and a little girl. And the fact that we're together apparently is this extremely bad situation. So because well, they can't really shame me and they can't really shame her, so they're kind of at a loss.
It's really what sets you guys out. I mean, what can they say to Tuesday? What does your dad think about what you're doing? Oh, he thinks it's great. He's right here next to me.
Right. I'm trying to keep a civil discourse online because the only way we're going to get to solve this problem altogether is if both sides take the gloves off and try to calmly have a discussion about this, because it is never going to be our quarterback versus your quarterback, and let's fight it out on the gridiron. That's never going to work.
We're not here to fight or argue with people. We're actually trying to do, be helpful and try to show people our opinion, but obviously you can't just change anyone's opinion by making a sign that offends a whole bunch of people. So,
but there's got to be a conversation.
Yeah.
And it has to be civil. What's going on right now is not going to work.